Nettles. So it's nettle time, and nettles are popping up in the grass. Typically nettles grow in moist places by the creeks and streams, and you can see the creek here in the background. And these nettles are popping up in my grass here. So I'm going to gather a bunch of them and take them inside and show you how to cook some of them. Nettles are really high in chlorophyll. There's these dark green leaves, almost verging on purple at times. They're high in many minerals and many vitamins. They're very beneficial for your kidneys in particular. And they're just very strengthening. I think of them as nature's vitamin pill because it's all going on in this one plant. They're very strong. If you want to keep them going, then make sure you leave plenty for reseeding and regenerating. You always want to leave plenty, and a good rule of thumb is to harvest no more than 1/3 of what's available so that they come back. I picked some nettles today. Nettles are springing up all over my field around here. They like to grow in damp, moist places. And first I'm going to make some nettle tea because nettle tea is super nourishing. And in cooking with nettles, you want to use the stalk as well as the leaves. They're just so rich in nourishment, and they're especially rich for the kidneys and adrenals. So if you're feeling really drained and tired in life, and even if you're not, they'll give you extra energy. And if you're feeling particularly drained, nettle tea, drink a cup of nettle tea every day. And this will bring you new life. Within a month, I guarantee you'll be feeling better, if not immediately. So, in making a tisane, or an herbal tea, you want to cut your herbs up small because the smaller you make your material that you're infusing, the more surface area there is to infuse. You get more nutrients out of it. I'm using tongs to cut up these nettles because nettles, they're called stinging nettles for good reason. And so instead of wearing gloves, I just use some tongs to handle them. All right, and I'll get the nettles in here. That'll do. I'm going to add some mint leaves for extra flavor. Mint is also very cooling if it's a hot day. Just break the mint leaves up a bit. And we'll add some water that I just boiled. These nettles are especially nourishing during menopause and for lactating mothers and during pregnancy. And it was very beneficial for my own menopausal years and for a young friend of mine during her pregnancy. She just couldn't get enough nettle tea. So here we go. So we're going to let that set aside. To get the most out of this tea, you really want to let it infuse for about 4 hours, if not overnight. So a good habit to get into is to make your nettle tea at nighttime, wake up in the morning and drink your tea. And you can reheat it, but don't boil it. Just reheat it. So we'll set that aside. And here we've got some nettles to cook. And you could cook nettles just like spinach. And you can put nettles into other dishes. Whenever you would be using greens in a dish, you can use some nettles. Nettle quiche is a favorite around here. You just only need to roughly chop them up. And again, I don't pick the nettles off the stems because I want the stems. The stems are part of the medicine. When you use the stems, you're using the whole plant. And so when we eat the whole plant, we're creating greater wholeness in our bodies rather than just using little plant parts. Because the stem is the part, it's like the backbone of the plant. So it's like our backbones. You're bringing, it's what's bringing new nutrition up from the earth into the plant, and then the leaves are sending it down. If you only eat the leaves, then you're missing out on a whole part of it. Okay, so here we go. I've got this water over here. I'll turn the heat back on. We'll add just a little bit of salt. And I just have a very, just a small amount of water in this pot here. You don't need a lot. It's kind of semi-steamed. They take a bit longer to cook than spinach. You just cook them till they're soft. Put the lid on. Nettles are rich in lots of nutrients. When they're cooked, they release more minerals. Okay, so our nettles are done. I've cooked them for about 5 minutes. And we'll strain them. Here we go, retaining still their bright green color. Lots of chlorophyll in there. Put it in the dish. And garnish with a little olive oil is my favorite. Some people like to put a little vinegar or tamari, different things. So here you are, nettles ready to eat with your food. Our tea. The tea is starting to take on some color. You can see the water is turning green, so it's pulling out the chlorophyll and vitamins and all those minerals. And then we have the bonus of the water that the nettles were cooked in, which you can use as a soup base, or simply stir some miso into that, or sometimes I just add a little tamari and drink it just like that. So never throw away this water. It's full of nutrition. Enjoy.